Thanks for joining me. We're going to put this on our Wellness Wednesday. I always like to, just share, stories about people that are doing good things. And, it was probably 3, 4, 5 months ago where you reached out to me. And you're a big baseball guy. You're involved in the Pecos League. You're a manager. Been some changes over the past little while. So, very excited to, to ask you a few questions. Get people understanding more about what independent baseball is, and what you're hoping to accomplish during the season, and what diamonds in the rough, so to speak, you have on the team that some scouts or baseball people need to take a look at. So thanks for joining me today, Bill.
Very happy to be on your program, Devin. And I remember when I first spoke to you, I was surfing the internet and I stumbled upon your website, the gmsperspective.com. And I said, hey, let me reach out to this guy. Seems like an interesting guy, has a baseball background, played a little pro ball. So I'm glad we made the connection.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you, Bill. It's an honor to have you, and looking forward to your thoughts today. So let's get right to it. I'll get to the first question. So for for the people who don't know, who are you? And what's your baseball background in sort of a Coles Notes version to give everyone the highlights?
Well, I'll start from the beginning. I was born at a very young age in New York, the Bronx, New York, and ever since I can remember, I loved baseball. I've always had a bat and ball, and when I was a little kid, breaking windows and all that. And of course, I played, Pony League, Babe Ruth baseball, high school baseball, college baseball. And when college was done, the Yankees didn't come calling. As a matter of fact, nobody came calling. I did have a tryout with the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Cincinnati Reds, and that didn't go anywhere. So I played semi-pro baseball till I was 31. And then I got a job broadcasting baseball in the New York Penn League with the Hudson Valley Renegades. My wife and I moved to Denver, Colorado, and I covered the Rockies for many years. And then in 2017, I found a thing. I was watching a college football game, and I saw something about the Pecos League. And there was a team in Trinidad, Colorado. I'm like, I live in Denver, Colorado, and I didn't even know there was a team in Trinidad. So in 2018, I went down to see a couple of games in Trinidad, and I was entertained. I enjoyed it. But the team they were playing, Trinidad, they beat the stuffing out of one Saturday. And, it happened. Sometimes you get your teeth kicked in. A couple of weeks later, I went down there again. And same team, Garden City win, got their teeth kicked in. But I didn't see the effort that I wanted to see. I paid $6 for a ticket. I want to see full-fledged effort. So I started thinking about managing. I said, I would do this differently. I would do that differently. And I kept this, I thought it would just be a passing thing, but I was really intrigued by it, possibly managing. At the end of the year, I was on the Pecos League website, pecosleague.com, and I saw there were a couple of job openings for managers. So I applied to Andrew Dunn, the commissioner of the league, and we had some meetings, and lo and behold, I got a manager's job. The first year I was in Tucson in 2019. And I wanted to go to Santa Fe because it's closer to Denver, but I ended up in Tucson. 2020, there was no typical Pecos League. There was a 4-team Pecos League in Houston. And so I broadcast all the games. Andrew Dunn sent me down to Houston, broadcast all the games there. And then in 2021 and 22, I managed Santa Fe. And that was quite an experience when you have, with regularity, 21 to 17 games. It kind of wears on you. I think managing in Santa Fe may have taken a couple of years off my life. But then Marysville opportunity came up, and it's a great situation, beautiful ballpark in Marysville. And they were called the Drakes, and I didn't know what a Drake was. I thought it was a cupcake or something. It's actually a mature male duck. So I was a cactus when I was with Tucson, the Tucson Swallows. I was, I guess, a ball of fire with the Santa Fe Fuego. And now I'm a duck, the Marysville Drakes. And the funny thing is, one of my players this year who played with me last year in Santa Fe, you know very well, Drake Ayala. So I have a guy named Drake on the Drakes, and he'll probably lead off and play center field on opening night. So the first batter in Drake's history will be a guy named Drake. How about that?
Fantastic. You know, there's a lot that was talked about in those few minutes, and you know, we could talk about that forever. But yeah, no, great to hear. You and Drake are connected again. You know, as you know, and as many people know, I have the opportunity to interview Drake a few times, and Drake is trying to get to that next level. You know, and the Pecos League, for those who are, you know, not aware, independent league. It started out, I think we were saying that you told me it's going on 13 years now, which is crazy to think about, because I remember, you know, writing these articles about this, you know, over a decade ago, about this Pecos League that no one knew about, right? And it's still going, you know, considering the world of independent baseball, with things change all the time. And now, you know, Major League Baseball is involved with a few of the big three, big four leagues, you know, American Association, Atlantic. You know, I don't think the Pecos League gets enough credit, you know, for what they're doing, you know, for what Andrew has put together, and you know, compiling, you know, baseball minds like yourself and talent, you know, where guys are hitting legit 400, you know, in a season. You hit 400 anywhere, that's good. So, you know, with that being said, you know, what's your experience in the Pecos League been like? You know, what's it like? You know, the players that you're managing, the caliber, and you know, just the total experience that you've had so far.
Well, in 2019, I'll admit, it was tougher than I thought it would be. You have 22 guys, and then it expands to 25 in July, the roster. But you got to make everybody try to think as a team, and that's hard to do. These guys want to put numbers. They're very myopic, and you try to let them understand that, hey, we win games, your stats are going to be there. So you try to get the selfishness away. I get it. It's an individual team sport, and guys want to move up. But I think I was a much better manager in 21 and 22, just getting guys to be on the same page, having good attitudes. And I learned a lot. You learn every day in baseball. But year to year, I think I'm getting better as a manager. And the Pecos League, to me, is an opportunity league. It's given me a chance to manage. I never thought I'd be a professional baseball manager. But more importantly, it's given a lot of guys over the years a chance to play pro ball. And some guys don't want to play in the Pecos League. They're too good for the Pecos League. They don't have the amenities or the glamorous scoreboards or the major league locker rooms. I'm not going to play in the Pecos League. All right, don't play in it. But you're going to be a 66-year-old guy one day sitting in a rocking chair thinking, I should have given it a shot. And so when guys play in the Pecos League, even if you flame out in the Pecos League, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame. You gave it a shot. And I tell kids, hey, if you want to make more money, go to McDonald's. They're hiring. They'll probably pay you more. But if you want to play ball, the lights come on at 6 or 7 every night, and you have a chance to prove yourself as a ball player. And I think, you know, first of all, you play one game in the Pecos League, the rest of your life, you're a former pro player. And that's something you can hang your hat on, because there's a lot of guys who would love to be in your shoes. And I wish the Pecos League was around when I got out of college. I would have definitely played in the Pecos League. And I would have dominated. No, I wish I could go back and see how I would have done. I think I would have done okay. I don't think I would have been a star by any means. There's a lot of good players in the Pecos League. And you mentioned some of the other leagues. You know, you have your Pioneer League, your Frontier League, American Association, which is really good. A lot of former major leaguers in that.
Yep.
I think they're a little better than the Atlantic League. The Atlantic League has gotten a little gimmicky with Major League Baseball and whatnot. But those are 4 really good leagues. And throughout those leagues are sprinkled Pecos League graduates.
Exactly.
And some guys play 1 year in the Pecos League and move up. Some guys need a little more seasoning and play a second or maybe even a third year. So it's a great proving ground. And I also tell guys when I recruit them, you're not going to get a lot of money. You're not going to get rich here in the Pecos League. But the people you meet and the experiences you get in the Pecos League are going to last a lifetime. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, you said a lot of great things in there, and a lot of it, you know, really reverts back to, you know, the opportunity piece, giving these players, you know, an opportunity when, you know, other leagues, other associations may not have, right? You know, I played, I think 3 2/3 innings in the Frontier League in 2001, but you know, I get to say that, you know, I played, you know,
Oh, yeah.
the caliber, of the players, you had guys from Notre Dame, K-State. Danny Cox was our pitching coach. Champ Summers was our manager. So there's, a lot of baseball experience, right? And, if the independent league wasn't there, I wouldn't have been able to see that, be around it, hear the stories, hear the knowledge, right? And I think you brought up a lot of great points about, what the Pecos League does for these guys, what it's done for you, in your career, right? You've been able to travel around, broadcast, coach, see the development of these young guys getting to the next level, right?
Well, without the Pecos League, I would have never been to beautiful Cal City, California, in the middle of the Mojave Desert, sweating my tail off. But there's so many great stories, though, in the Pecos League. Everybody has their unique individual stories. But if you go into the Pecos League with a good attitude and you're ready to play ball, it's going to be a great experience for you. If you go into the Pecos League thinking, oh, I should have been drafted. Oh, I should be in a higher league. Oh, I don't like these Motel 6s we stay in. Then you're not going to have a good experience. And some people who have had poor experiences in that regard, they think they're better than the Pecos League. Well, if you were better, maybe you'd be playing in a higher league. But those are the guys who badmouth the league too. But talk to these 7 or 8 guys who've made it to the major leagues from the Pecos League. And without the Pecos League, they may never even have thought about the major leagues. But guys like Logan Gillespie last year made his debut with the Baltimore Orioles. You think he likes the Pecos League? Gave him a chance. Yermin Mercedes with the White Sox last year. He came up and I think he had like 7 hits in his first 7 at-bats to set a major league record. I think Yermin Mercedes, who played at the time for the White Sands Pupfish back in the day, I think he would say, yeah, the Pecos League gave me a shot. And so, and I also know a couple of guys who save their money up in the off season just so they can play in the Pecos League. They know they're not really good enough to go to a higher league, maybe by luck or something, but they know they're pretty good Pecos League players. They just like playing ball. And it's a summer of playing baseball, and then they want to do it again next year. So the Pecos League, I think it's a great league. It's fun. There are some crazy things that happen in the league. But the commissioner, Andrew Dunn, like we said, 13 years, they're independent leagues that start up and flame out after a year. Some don't even get started. They have grandiose plans, and all of a sudden it falls apart and it's done. But the Pecos League has been around a while. By the way, I got my Pecos League shirt. You see it here? And the reason I'm wearing it is because I don't have any Marysville Drakes gear yet. Come on, Andrew Dunn. Send me some swag. Let's go. I'm the manager of your team. Expansion franchise. I should get some gear here. I also got a Pecos League baseball here. There you go. High quality baseball from Rawlings. And
you know what? Just to see a pearl. To see a pearl is it's a beautiful thing, my man.
It's got a Santa Fe logo on it. Yes, I stole it from Santa Fe. I will admit to something here, Devin. One of my hobbies is stealing baseballs. So I see a baseball laying around. It's going in my bag.
Yeah, you're not the only one, Bill. You're not the only one.
These are valuable nuggets.
Beautiful. And I know we were talking earlier. You're actually, you're starting the trip down. You got the season starting soon. You got some tryouts lined up. And speaking of which, you're going to be putting the starting roster together soon. There's probably some open spots right now, but based on what you've seen, the guys you've talked to, your experiences with them, who on the Drakes should we be looking out for this year and hopefully beyond?
Well, I'm excited about pretty much the whole team because I think every guy is a good player, a quality player. I don't think there's any weak links where you put a guy out there and you're like, oh God, don't hit him the ball. I'm a defensive guy first and foremost. That was my best skill as a player, was fielding. And we have a really good defensive outfield. And get this, we talked about Drake. He runs a 6'2", 60. The kid can fly. Drake Ayala, exciting ball player. On the corner outfields, though, guys who are just as fast. I got a kid named Lyndon Weaver, who was drafted out of high school by the Oakland Athletics in the 40th round. And I think he was smart not to sign with the Athletics. He went to college, a couple of small schools. He's from Stone Mountain, Georgia. And I got a recommendation from him from a manager in the Pioneer League, a guy named Billy Horton at Billings. So this is a pretty good player. He's a good kid. And I talked to him, and he sounded like a real solid guy. And that's one thing too. I don't want headaches on my team. You could be a great player, but if you're a headache, and I had a few headaches in Tucson, and I learned my lesson, they're better off going. I want guys with good attitudes, team first guys, and who are solid citizens. I don't want to get that dreaded 2:30 phone call. Hey, one of your players is drunk and breaking car windows. I don't recruit those guys.
Yeah.
So Lyndon Weaver, name to watch out for. He had a little time last year in the Frontier League, and he played in the what do you call it, the MLB Draft League.
Yep.
Last season, and he held his own. He needs a little more seasoning, and that's where the Pecos League comes in. But I think some people have their eye on him. I have a kid from Sacramento. He's a little string bean. Well, he's not little, he's tall, but he's 150 pounds, named Jalen Gordon, and he can fly. He can fly. So a warning to other Pecos League teams: if you hit a fly ball in the air into the outfield, you are not going to get on base. It better go over the fence, because these three guys are going to track it down. And my infield, I got a guy, Joe Starrick, power hitting first baseman, more experience in the outfield. He's a little raw at first base, and I'll work with him on that in spring training, which begins on Monday. Declan Peterson, I've had him 2 years in Santa Fe, and he's the kind of guy, he doesn't look all that impressive. Some guys look the part. Declan, he's like 5'10", 190 pounds, good athlete, but nothing stands out except his hair. He's got crazy hair. You think Drake has good hair? I don't know who has better hair, Declan or Drake. But Declan does all the little things you need to win. He's one of those first at the park, last to leave guys, and great fielder and clutch hitter. I think sometimes during the year he gives a few at bats away where maybe he doesn't bear down, but a pressure situation, he's going to come through. Last year, opening day against Roswell, down a run, bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, every hitter's dream, right? Declan comes up, and I'm like, all right, we're probably going to win this game. Boom, base hit to center field. We have a guy at third base, Eric Mitchell, hit 314 last year, and he went to the draft league. He played with, I believe it was, Santa Cruz last year. And then we have a shortstop I'm very intrigued by. I've not seen him play, but I've only heard great things about him, named Earl Johnson. And Earl's going to be our shortstop, a tall, lanky kid. And he has all the tools. He can run, hits for a little power, great arm, can fly. We're going to steal a lot of bases. In Santa Fe, we had such a small ballpark at 7,200 feet altitude with the wind blowing out all the time, a pitcher's nightmare, and plus a crummy field where a routine ground ball would, who knows where it was going to bounce. And we played for the home run. Run. But now it's going to be more of my kind of baseball. I like, small ball. I like bunting. I like stealing bases. And with our pitching staff, just throw strikes. Let your fielders do the work. We're going to have a really good fielding team. And behind the plate, I got 3 catchers who are all really good. Tyler Carpenter played with me last year in Santa Fe, lefty hitting catcher, and he just needs a little more seasoning. I think, he'll move up at some point. And really calls a good game. A guy from Georgetown named Evan Blum. He's also a left-handed hitting catcher, and he's very athletic. Looking at his college stats, a little streaky here and there, but he can play outfield too. Good athlete. He can run, got some pop in his bat, and I'm excited for him to catch as well. And there's a guy, Ergen Pergovich, whatever his last name is. He's from New York too, so he doesn't mind me messing up his name. But Ergen played at Adelphi, probably should have gotten more playing time than he did. But another guy's a good athlete. He can play the corner infield positions. He'll be a good, probably third string to start out catcher for us. And as you know, you could be a third string catcher and injuries, and all of a sudden you're catching. You're the first string catcher. But he's going to get a lot of playing time. I think he's a good athlete, and we got some decent pitchers too. I lost a pitcher yesterday with coming out of college, a little bit of a tear in his elbow. He's going to rehab that, and he'll probably join me next year 100%. But I got some guys who can throw the ball really well. And probably my opening day starter, a guy named Evan Nakagawa, excuse me. Evan's from California, pitched for me last year at Santa Fe. Doesn't throw 97 miles an hour, probably tops out at like 87, 88, but he has all these pitches. His changeup is almost unhittable. The ball moves. you're a lefty pitcher, and your ball probably moved a lot. Lefties have that natural tail that righties don't have. But Evan, a right-handed pitcher, has that natural tail. His ball moves all over the place. I don't know how he does it. And he's a top-notch human being as well. So
Good.
I got good guys and they're good players. That's a good combination to have.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I have one more question for you, but Bill, again, thank you for taking the time. I know you got a lot of things going on right now, a lot of traveling coming up, and
A lot
it's
of
always
packing to do tonight.
Yeah, and so I definitely know your schedule's packed, and to be able to speak with you, learn more about the league, learn more about you, your team, definitely will be following you throughout the year. And a final question, things change constantly in the game, like you said, injuries, all, players moving up, all this stuff. If someone did want to reach out, someone does have interest, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you or even the league for some information?
Well, one of the things, if you're interested in playing in the Pecos League, the best thing to do is go to pecosleague.com and then make contact with the commissioner, Andrew Dunn. We're always looking for good players, and Andrew has his pulse on all the teams. He may know a team that, this team is stacked pitching wise, and this is kid here reaching out as a pitcher. Maybe I'll send him to this team that needs a little help pitching. He wants some parity in the league. You don't want one team to be, like the Oakland A's are this year. And then that would be the best way. If you really want to pitch for Marysville, you can reach out to me. My email address is billrogansports@gmail.com. And if a kid's interested, and then, even if you're not interested, now that everybody has my email address, that's where you can also direct your hate mail to.
Beautiful.
BillRogansports@gmail.com if a kid's looking to play. So
awesome.
There you go. And Devin, I appreciate your time. When you have a team like Marysville, there's going to be great support there. I went there a couple of months ago with Andrew. The people were wonderful. They've refurbished the ballpark. They're excited to have us, and I'm excited to be there and put a team on the field that they'll be proud of. And, the Pecos League, again, I can't say enough about it. Andrew does a really good job, but if you're around any Pecos League city, whether it's Alpine, Texas, Roswell, New Mexico, Santa Fe, Tucson, Bakersfield, Marysville, wherever you are, if you can see a Pecos League game, support these guys because they're living out their dream and they deserve your support and respect.
Beautiful.
And so thank you, Devin.
Well, thank you, Bill. Like I said, you got a lot of things going on, so taking the time to do this is great. It's always great to chat baseball with a good baseball person. So, my friend, thank you.
All right,
Wishing
thank you very much.
best, and I'm sure we'll be in touch very soon again. Okay.
Okay, anytime. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Bill. Have a good one, eh?
You
Talk
too.
to you soon. Safe travels, okay?
Thank you very much.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.